is Wednesday, December 13th. We are at the John Zahn Community Center, room 114, for the Public Safety Commission meeting for December. This is an in-person meeting, but we are recording this meeting for GCTV, so you can all say hello to the recording device. We'll call this meeting to order, and I will take, I'll hold off on that. I will call the meeting and I will make a couple statements. Put this on the floor first. Okay. This meeting is being recorded by the Public Safety Commission. If anyone other than the city or commission is recording the meeting, you must notify the chair at this time. Is anybody else recording to the meeting? Didn't think so. Okay. No person shall address the meeting of the public body without permission of the chair, and all persons shall, at the request of the chair, be silent. No person shall disrupt the proceedings of the meeting of the public body. If, after clear warning from the chair, a person continues to disrupt the proceedings, the chair may order the person to withdraw from the meeting. If the person does not withdraw, the chair may authorize the constable or other officer to remove the person from the meeting. I will take a roll call. Commissioner Jarvis.
Here.
Commissioner Illinois.
Here.
Commissioner Birch.
Here.
Commissioner McMahon.
Here.
And Commissioner Moscaritolo is here. All right. We're ready to roll. Okay, we're not approving any meeting minutes. We will do that next time. I don't think there's any public comment because there's nobody else in the room. Unless one of you would like to make public
Chief, would you like
comment.
to come up?
You want public
I
comment?
will serve my time.
All right.
I would just like to say that the fire department has gone full digital. When they came in for the inspection, the whole inspection was done, the bill was sent digital. I was so impressed.
Thank you.
Excellent. No public comment?
No public comment. I'll wait
All
till
right.
my turn.
We will move on. We will invite EMS up to the table to give us their updates. Come join us,
You
Patrick.
really want me to join you now?
You get the
Sure.
pick of the
Now
chairs.
you're in the spotlight.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm Patrick Lean. I'm the Regional Director for AMR in Massachusetts. And we obviously provide service to the City of Greenfield in partnership and collaboration with Chief Strahan and his men and women in the department. There has been no significant events to report in the last 2 months of service since we had previously reported. We did send in our reports for the months of October and November. All numbers seem to trend pretty evenly. There's no real big outliers or any concerns that we see within the statistics that we are providing to the commission. One of the things that we do on a regular basis up in Greenfield, at least twice a year, based on seasonal trending and time of year trending, we will do a demand analysis of call volume. And a lot of it can link into respiratory issues or COVID in the winter and when the flu hits. And we do the best that we can along with CDC stats to try to match our staffing to that. And that then affects census at the hospitals and wait times at the hospitals. So we just recently concluded our most recent demand analysis for deployment in Greenfield. And based on the numbers that we saw, which had deviated from our previous stats, we have made some adjustments within our deployment starting the first of the year. So we rebid a whole new schedule. The only difference in that schedule is during peak times during the middle of the week, Monday through Friday. We had originally had a fourth unit on because of the demand that we were seeing, and that kind of dropped off for a while. So we had backed off on it. The numbers show that we should add it back in again just to keep on-time performance on the 9/11 side and the hospital side with Franklin Medical Center on par to where we like to be. And then that will get reevaluated again. So just an extra unit, 5 days a week for 8 hours a day, starting after the first of the year based on the demand analysis that we've seen with the call volume and the recent trends. Other than that, the floor is open. If you guys have any questions regarding the statistics, I'm more than happy to answer them.
That peak time is what time? I know it's 8 hours, but what time?
11 to 7.
11 to 7?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And they the level calls of they stay. I'm looking at it on my phone. They stay pretty consistent, right?
Yeah, even the percentages with the high acuity ones, which are the Delta Echo, the response times are pretty much on key, just under 6 minutes for the higher acuity. And then the percentages for, 10 minutes or less is always in the 50 percentile or less, and then the rest of them are in that 11 to 15, which is the outlying areas of Greenfield, obviously.
Yeah.
I will say that some other changes that we made with the fire department in relation to how we respond to motor vehicle accidents and the policy has gone well so far with the collaboration of the crews and who takes the call, so it's at the appropriate level, so we keep the appropriate level of service in the city has gone well.
And what was the level A calls again?
The alpha are the very
alpha,
the lowest
the
acuity.
lowest
Yep, so it goes from lowest acuity, which is alpha, then bravo. Those are usually just only BLS calls.
Yeah.
There can be some Charlie calls that can either be ALS or BLS, so it's either a paramedic or an EMT that's required. A lot of it's based on the medical director's interpretation of the EMD codes that get approved.
And that probably is real. I notice it's pretty flexible.
Correct, yes, yep.
It's way up, or it's not way up, but it's a little. It's a lot high. It's in October is a lot higher than November. Looks like so.
Correct.
Okay. Cool. Great. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will get you one.
Okay. Again, the police department will not be here tonight, so we will move right into the fire department. We will invite you up.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the invite. Let me first start off by saying thank you to each and every one of you for fitting this meeting in at the last minute, or we've been working with the chairman and vice chairman to get this scheduled before the end of the year. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do you want me to just do a department report, or do you want to go right into the promotion?
Were you planning on doing a department report? You can.
Well, you know what? I asked Peter to go ahead and present the department report.
Sure.
And I'd be happy to have him do that if you want to take care of that first.
Yes, you can take care of this. Yeah, do you want to read this? Sure. Come on up. Come on and join us. Absolutely.
So, little background about promotions. This one's a special one, not only because of the individual that is being recommended for promotion, but also because he is the first promotion outside of civil service. And so let me give you a little background of the process that the captain went through, or the lieutenant, soon to be permanent captain, went through to get this. So we did, by contract, we had I'll wait till you get them passed around. We had a promotional process that we hired a third-party vendor that came in, and it was a multi-step 2-day event. The first day was a written examination that they had to study. In order for them to go on to day 2, the candidates had to pass the written exam. We had 4 lieutenants all that took the process. I'm pleased to say that all 4 of them passed the written exam, which was incredible. And then day 2 was an assessment / interview process where the candidates were graded by an outside vendor with retired fire chiefs that were part of the evaluation that was completely independent of the fire department. We set, the fire problem, the location of the fire problem. We set what the priorities of the fire department were. We gave them SOPs that we really wanted our guys to. They got to know all of them, but these were the ones that we wanted them to really test them on. And they developed a process of a fire problem where they presented a fire scenario and they had to work through it. They had an HR problem, they had an oral interview, and did I miss anything? Was there a 4th step? I don't think so.
Experience and education.
Experience and education grading. And so out of that, we got a list, and Captain MacGyver was number 1 on the list. And a little background about Captain MacGyver. He has worked very, very hard through his career. He's currently, and has been for many years, the union president, which puts our relationship in an interesting spot sometimes, but we get along very well, and we have a very good collaborative effort when it comes to union and labor relations within our department. He has embraced every opportunity that has been either he has gone after or he has been presented, one of them being he is a hazardous materials technician for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, representing our department of the city very well in Western Mass and the state as a whole. He's one of two other members that are part of our department that are part of the statewide team. He stepped up into a new role within the department, and that is the logistics captain role, and really has embraced it and took it on himself and made it his position, and has really done a great job with it. He has, within the last year, taken on the responsibility of taking together and developing the monthly reports for you folks. And I thank him for that. They're pretty good, and enjoy the outcome of it. He is also on the building committee for the new firehouse, and he is at the firehouse multiple times a week, working closely with me, making sure that the little details that impact the fire department are there. And recently, within the last 2 months, he has been attending the Franklin County Fire Chiefs organization, where the fire chiefs have elected him as the secretary, which is unusual to have a captain as the secretary of the Fire Chiefs Association. So Peter works very hard. I have to send him home many days to go be with his family because he spends so much time at work. But I couldn't be more pleased that Peter is who came out on #1, and I am thrilled to recommend him for the position of permanent captain. So there was a letter that I have written to the commission that has went to the mayor. It went last month, but we were just waiting for this meeting to have, by charter, your final interview, what the charter calls. So I present to you Captain MacGyver.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Do you want? Is there anything you want to say, or?
Sure. That's quite the introduction to try to follow, but thank you, Chief, for your kind words. I did kind of put together just a packet about myself, some recommendations that I'd like to present to you. There you go.
It should have given this to us a couple weeks ago, so we could have put a list.
You could have studied, and then
Is there a test
sure.
after this?
No tests. I've done enough tests recently. So a little bit about myself. Chief covered a lot of the main key points, but I grew up in Greenfield. I've been with the fire department since I was 21. I'm about to crest my 17th year with the department. As we developed the lieutenant's position, I was fortunate to go through our first process with that and become one of the first department's lieutenants, and saw that position through its inception and where it's become today. I was given an opportunity about the same time we were moving out of our last location to move into an administrative role as a lieutenant. So I jumped on that. And that's really where a lot of my recent work with the department has kind of taken off. As Commissioner McMahon mentioned, we've made a recent move to put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. Formerly, we had a lot of different programs and platforms that the guys had to be familiar with, and we didn't have a great forward-facing platform for businesses that we would interact with, specifically for permits and inspections. So one of my first major projects as an acting captain in this logistics role was to kind of spearhead that as like its project manager, so to speak. So being acutely involved with that and following up with different vendors and whatnot has been quite the project, but we're making some forward progress. Some of that's in October's report. But I couldn't be happier to be where I am today. I'm very fortunate to have some of the opportunities that have been afforded to me, and thank you for your time tonight. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions, comments?
Comments, but I'll wait. Okay, fine, thank you. So,
Ed was in my initial interview.
yes, I was. I did sit in Peter's, Captain MacGyver's first interview as for firefighter, and there's no doubt in my mind that you'll do an excellent job. It was my privilege to work with you for 9 years of my career. Been gone 8 now, believe it or not.
Time flies.
Yeah. So there was no doubt in my mind that you'll do a fantastic job. You always have. And myself too. I used to sit there and shake my head at times being the deputy chief when you would come in my office as a union president sometimes. But everything worked out good. You've always kept a level head. You've always been a positive thinker and a go-getter. And I think you'll do a great job for the city and yourself and the department as a captain. So welcome aboard. You get my recommendation, hands down.
I appreciate that.
Do I get to talk now?
You said you weren't gonna talk, but we'll let you.
Well, I have known Peter since the late 90s, I believe, when we worked at the teen center together. And I saw a bright future, and I agree with everything that was on that letter. And everything. I am so proud of you. Thank you, and I know you're going to continue to do a good job.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We haven't voted for giving him approval yet. We'll congratulate him afterwards.
Congratulations for
Any other
at least
any other comments?
being put forward.
Yeah, I just want to echo what has been said, and I also want to comment on how important I think it is that you did get this appointment outside of civil service. I have not been a fan of civil service in my public career, and sometimes there were some raised voices about why, and I could talk about that forever. All systems have a strength and a weakness. What I'm particularly proud of is to hear your story and your commitment and your loyalty to the community and to the agency, and you express that with your work ethic. Civil service doesn't measure all of that. That's one of the biggest limitations I think that civil service has. And to have you come through the process, I can remember talking about it as a selectman, and that's 20 years ago. Having an assessment center, having a third-party opportunity, and getting rid of the old slogan, well, it's a political job. That demeans people, and it's not the whole truth. When you care about a community, you do it in different ways. When you come to work and don't leave on time, when you do all the things that the chief talked about, those are the things that I get at when I think about this type of a promotion. So, and we don't know each other, right? You can attest to, we didn't agree to this rally that I'm giving for how important it is that this man, this person, professional, is the first person to be promoted to this level outside of civil service. And I think we demonstrate that that can be done fairly and equitably, and we get a great candidate. So congratulations. I'm very happy for you. Go home when it's time to go home.
I struggle with that, but thank you for your kind words.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I like seeing, I'm sure some of your classmates from Greenfield High School left to pursue greener pastures, and it's nice to see kids who stay here and do right by the city and dedicate themselves. So I hope more kids will follow in your path, and I think that would enrich this community. You'll be a role model.
Thank you.
I have to want to say that I agree with Commissioner Lenoy about the being the first outside of civil service. I think that's a really big step. So I'm excited about that. But I also want to say that I got to know you during the building committee for the new fire station, and just getting to know you and mostly bumping into you with your family. I see you a lot professionally, but I bump into you and your family, and you know, you're with your wife, you're with your kids, you guys are together, you know, you're doing everything together, you know, you're an outstanding person, your wife is, your family is, and it's, the investment is in the community is, that's what we all hope for, you know, so I'm really excited for your long-term future.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask the commissioners, before we go over the October reports, just skip a little bit and ask for a motion to the mayor to recommend the promotion for Peter McIver to captain.
So moved.
Second. Second. All right. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Now, congratulations. I do hugs, but, you know.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Congratulations.
All right. Excellent. All right. We can go on to the updates if you like.
So I will turn it over to.
All right.
Excellent.
So there's two of them because you usually do the budget updates kind of once the month has been complete. So November's a little shy. It doesn't have all of the details that October does, but October for the fire department's pretty busy because it's Fire Prevention Month. So the state likes to call it Fire Prevention Week. We try to concentrate our efforts in hitting all the schools for their safe education programs, making sure those get scheduled. This year we took to the internet, put out a lot of literature. Our fire prevention captain's daughter actually made like a custom video for the department that we were able to put out on Facebook. But really just making sure that we push smoke detectors and all of the public outreach to make sure that we're making homes safe and doing the best we can do there and connecting with the education groups. Community Connect was a platform that we launched during Fire Prevention Week. So Community Connect is kind of a partner program to the new reporting platform that we've moved to. So it's a forward-facing platform that allows the community to connect with the fire department. So a user in the community would make a profile, you put in your address, it links you to the actual parcel that shows up on our map as we're responding, and then you can put in that you have pets or you have kids or you might have someone with functional needs in the home, where your utilities are, and all of that is kept in an encrypted, secure, cloud-based program. So all of the data is super secure, and it allows us, when we're responding to that property, to get all of that information as we're responding. So instead of just guessing that, you know, it's in a tight residential neighborhood, it's probably got, you know, a family of 4 or whatever, we know all of that in advance when we get there. You can put where the bedrooms are in the home, any access issues, all of that. So it gives us a much broader picture as we're responding. So we push that out. In the future, it also has a ability for homeowners and businesses to request permits and inspections right through there. So just to try to streamline the way that we communicate with the community. Sorry. And then beginning of October, Michael Magnuson and Christy Bomer both met with the committee, but they officially started in October. So we kind of showcased their swearing in. Our budget's been going pretty well. We're pretty much on target where we'd like to be. I try to just give a snapshot of the month for what time has been covered and what time has been taken off and how that relates to our overtime use. And then the basic budget update is on the bottom. And on the last page is our response statistics. So all of our data is broken out by NIFRS code, or National Fire Incident Reporting System. So those are kind of categorized on the left. The pie chart just gives you a nice graphic of what each of those categories are and the percentages of our responses. And then I just like to try to highlight a couple responses that we go to throughout the month that are worth mentioning, and our patient transports and how many refusals we did. And then the last sentence at the top there just kind of notes our mutual aid. Questions on October? For the newer members, if you have questions on the mutual aid, please reach out to the chief or I. We can give you a kind of broader discussion on mutual aid agreements, on how that works as a department.
Is the Community Connects program and plan, do you share that with Patrick's group? Do they have a need, like, is it, if they're responding, is there going to be a connection there with
We
this
have
group?
not yet. I'm sure that's something that the chief and Patrick could discuss. The way that program works for us is based on an agency fee, not by user. So for us, a lot of the software before was based on our users. So financially, it was kind of a constraint to be able to share that data. But given that that's not a factor, at least for this platform, I'm sure that discussion may happen in the future. So first due is the reporting software, and with that we were able to bring in all of our parcel data. We moved hydrant maps. We've even moved in overlays for water and sewer lines, so we had a better idea of where underground brooks, where the water lines are, if there's, large washout or whatever, just to give a more full picture. But there's a tremendous opportunity for a lot of data to be focused in one spot. And for us also, as mentioned from Amy about the permits and inspections, those are able to be seen also in that same fashion. So we go to the address, we're able to see that, oh, there's a permit for a major construction project there. So, that's kind of in the back of your mind that that's also occurring.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal program.
Would any counselor like to share their address? Or pick an address that's not yours. Pick something, Main Street or
43
something.
Country Club Road. That's fine.
I just want to show you what we have. And it's
Well, you have a river running through there, so that's the first thing.
So we get-
The bridge hold the truck.
Now it does.
Yeah.
So we get information that shows us the location, the mapping that we have that going in, and now there hasn't been much added to this, but we've already collected a bunch of data that people probably are not aware of. So it tells us who owns the property, the year it was built, 1934. The roofing type is a gable type roof. The building has limited access, assessor data, but the building, let me see if we have anything with pre-planned. But if you were to go into this, you could update more, but we know what type of roof we're going to, whether it's a single family, a double, 2-family, 3-family, what it's classified at, is it a residential, is it a business, and that's all from the assessor data. So as soon as a call comes in, it comes on our engines, and it tells us where we're going, how to get there, and the key information about the building that we get there. In addition to that, when the call comes in, our dispatch, when they put their information in the CAD, unlike the old system, we get the initial notification, and then all the information that they're collecting from the caller gets put in. We would only get the initial one. This program actually updates it. So as we're responding, everything that our dispatchers put in their narrative, we're seeing in the fire truck on the way there. The program is
So
it's amazing.
we can go in there and we can update any resident can update their residents with special.
Yeah, go into Community Connect. You can tell us if you have special needs. You can tell us if you have transportation issues. You can tell us if you have pets. You can tell us
You own a bridge.
You own a bridge. And all that information. Anything that you think is important for the responders to know. It's confidential. It's secured. But say you had a safety lockbox on your house and you had a code for that, you could put that in, and then when it only comes up when we go on the call, right? That other data is the assessor data. What you put in will come in when the call comes in. But if you wanted to share that, it's shared just with the fire department, and we have the information, and it's huge. And in addition to that, as you saw, our new program also has a huge impact on our permitting inspections and code enforcement. And we're going paperless with everything, and it's a way that we communicate with our business owners now and be able to remind automatically, hey, you got a permit coming up, and here's the fee, and here's how you process it, and then we can schedule inspections, and it's pretty robust and pretty good program. And it's the first program that I haven't had to build since I've been a captain at the firehouse. So it's nice to see the next generation taking the lead on that. And Peter's done, between Peter and Alex, the other day staff captain, have done a tremendous job with this program.
It's going to be a huge benefit for the city.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
It's huge. And the
Already
more-
makes me feel safer.
Yeah, so one of the other things that this program does is our high hazards, like the high rise and bigger buildings, we actually can put where the fire department connections are, where the gas connections are, where the sprinkler shut-offs are, the electrical panels. There's just a wealth of knowledge that we just didn't have before.
And that information's put in by the homeowner?
No, so we put it in ourselves. We'll go through either when we're doing an inspection, or we're gonna get to the point, we haven't yet, but we're gonna get to the point where we assign buildings to different shifts, and it'll be one of their drills, one of the mini drills for the day, that they'll have to go and get the information collected and put it in. But once it's there, it's easy to update. We hope that business owners and homeowners will do the information for us, right? Because they have that ability to do that, but the larger buildings in town will be working on the pre-plans for it. And as Deputy Jarvis will tell you, that pre-plans has always been a difficult thing for us to accomplish, so this will help.
Excellent.
This gives us a uniform way to collect the information, which was always the worst part for the groups were always willing to go out and do the work. We didn't have a standard way to collect the information and any method to share it once we got it.
Well, I think
So this gives it right as you're responding to the call instead of trying to figure out where it was last capped in the truck. And
I would think businesses and even homeowners, I know we're excited about putting information. I mean, this could save a life, save lives, save your building, save.
you
Just
can sign
saying,
up for
I mean,
incident alerts for your property also.
Absolutely.
So
That's
you
great.
put in that you live at 10 Carroll Lane, and if there's a call that generates for that address, it calls my cell phone and says that there's a call there.
Excellent.
So if you're not home, the fire department's going to your house, you're gonna get a notification the fire department's en route to your house.
That's great. Excellent. Well, great. Good job.
That's optional.
Good job. Awesome. Awesome job. All right.
So the November report is a little bit shorter because as the chief spoke earlier, November was a pretty busy month for me specifically. Mainly because that was when our promotion process was playing out. So the middle sheet would have been promotions. Payroll update, very similar to the last. You'll see our overtime and salaries again right on par for where we expect. And our responses was one additional than the month of October. So instead of 273, we did 274. But about the same percentages. We're right on par with where we were and where we've been for our primary medical responses. And Group 1 was fortunate enough to hit Western Mass News with pretty much every channel that covered the story about dog food being tucked away on Thanksgiving in an oven. So that's showcased as one of our notable incidents.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So, and just a couple updates on top of that. On Monday, Ed, you'll be jealous about this. On Monday, we have our first ever second civilian employee starting at the fire department, and that employee will be the clerical assistant to fire prevention.
All time.
So it's part-time right now, but her name is Danielle. She used to work in HR, and she will be starting on Monday. So we're thrilled to have that addition to the department as well. And the last thing I want to cover is it seems like in our field, and anybody that's in the field will attest to it, we seem to go in spurts where just really bad things happen. And I say that because we've had that within the last month. Some really terrible calls, calls that the human being shouldn't see. And through it all, the three agencies that do emergency services in town do what they do best, and they show caring and compassion, and they do a great job no matter what the circumstance, no matter how difficult. From last night, where the fire department assisted a local agency, another fire department, with a very, very difficult extrication of a young lady that was severely hurt, but also severely trapped in a car, to a gentleman that was working under the car, and an accident happened, and the car fell on him, and he didn't survive, to suicide's attempt, to other car accidents, to just really, really bad things. One of them being, the past weekend, was a pretty significant car accident with some teenagers involved, and the captain on duty pulled up and said, "That's my truck," and said, "That's my kid." And so I bring this up to highlight is something that I've been talking about for a few years now, and that is mental health of our responders. It takes a toll. It takes a big toll, and we are trying to do better. We are doing everything that we can. I now have an individual that is specifically trained in critical incident stress, and he's part of the Western Mass Critical Incident Stress team. We are getting the word out from the top on down that it's okay to talk about bad things, and it's okay to deal with it, and it's okay to ask for help. And I have told my guys, I am a big believer of not only physical health but mental health as well. And you know, I'm not embarrassed to say that I talk with somebody and process how I want to process it. But we got to get the word out better to our responders that that's okay. And part of that, we are looking at more opportunities for our firefighters, and hopefully expand it beyond that, for some mental health capacity. Therapists are hard to get, but we have been looking at specific programs, applications and other programs that actually have a tremendous amount of opportunities to help our firefighters, our police officers, when they're struggling with mental health issues. And so one of the programs we're looking at, and it will come at a cost, but there's a phone tree of if they need help or they need to talk to somebody, that, you know, there's the opportunity for that. There's articles, there's a whole plethora of different things, but there are programs that we are looking at right now, and it's my hope to pull the trigger on it within probably the next 2 months and spin it out to all our firefighters, and really hammer home the importance of mental health in the fire service, which is a statistic that I didn't know because it's never reported. But if you were to collect the data on suicide rates amongst responders, specifically firefighters, you would find that that's one of the leading cause of deaths for firefighters. And we, as a vocation, need to do a better job. And I am committed to that, 1,000%. I can't imagine pulling up on my own kid in a car accident. The car was completely destroyed. Thank God. He walked away with bumps and bruises, but it's still pretty traumatic. And I told the captain that happened to, that I know, I guarantee you, you're going to see you pulling up on this car accident multiple times as you go forward. Maybe not this week, maybe not this month, but it'll come back, and like let's make sure that we have the help for people to process this stuff. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I did want to share that. So thank you again, and it won't be the last time that I talk about mental health with our responders. It's one of the things that's very, very important to me as chief of department, is to take care of our people and their mental health.
Thank you very much for sharing that, because I, as a 35-year veteran of public safety, have gone through a lot of that, the PTSD type of thing, where just smells or just pulling up somewhere, it stays with you. If you don't get the help, it can ruin your life, your marriage, your relationship. Thank you for putting that as a priority.
Our public safety folks deserve nothing less
I don't know
than
if
to
there's,
address
I don't know
this.
if there's anything that we can assist with, but I can tell you, speaking, I'm sure for all 5 of us, if there's anything we could do, anything we can be involved in, anything we can approve, plans, whether it involves finances or not, we are here to assist in that.
Appreciate that.
I'm sure everybody would agree to that.
I appreciate
100%.
that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good for November? All right. Any other comments or from
No,
commissioners?
just a question. When does your budget review start, Chief? And when do we review that? I know we have to give our recommendations and stuff like that. So I'm just curious, because I'm glad to see that finally the overtime budget is kind of reached a stability point where it isn't grossly underfunded. Where we're
Wait 2 months.
Wait until February.
Yeah. I know. You got tough months coming ahead, but
Because,
I'm glad to see that we're doing
We got
good.
some
I
babies coming.
And I know that used to be always the chief coming to my office saying, "No more spending. That's it. Not a dime." Okay.
We're anticipating some significant hits to overtime come February. We have two firefighters that will be going out on baby leave. We have another firefighter that is going for probably a long time for surgery. I have a firefighter out on IOD right now, and our newest firefighter is going to the academy. So we are.
Yeah.
Hopefully the corrections we made early on in the budget will be able to get us through those couple months. It is my goal not to go over this year, but
Yeah, I remember IOD never used to hurt us too bad when we had an insurance policy that would pay some of the salary, but that's no longer with us anymore. That's
banging that bell.
Yeah,
It would
that's
be
gone
huge
by.
for the community to get back. So.
That was such a great asset for us. It really saved our budget at times when we had 2 or 3 people out on IOD at one time, and it comes out of your bottom line, and you're not going to be reimbursed for it, and you're filling their shifts. It's hurts. So the city really needs to get back on that ball and get that policy back, because it definitely saves personnel, money, and everything else in the long run. I remember that used to be our savior for a long time. So
what Ed's talking about is we have insurance that's kind of like workman's comp, but it's for public safety. It's called the 111. Our insurance company that the city has an option to cover backfill or 80% of the salary of the person that gets injured, and as soon as they're injured, you start collecting 80% of their salary. That was done away with probably 10 years ago for a cost-saving measures. And although it saves on the premium of the insurance, it has really been a detriment to the public safety agencies, because we have no mechanism to backfill, because we still have to pay the firefighter's salary while they're out on injury, and we have no way to recoup that. And for a small department like us, when we lose people, that impacts how many people are on a shift, and if we drop to a certain number, we have to backfill, and that backfill ends up costing us twice as much. So it's a challenge. As far as budget goes, you've already had the capital budget. We are in the process of preparing our budgets right now. It is due by, I think it's January 15th, has to be submitted into the computer program. So I would say your January meeting, you'll get the budget update after the 15th, and then forward the recommendation from that meeting. So I would anticipate next month you having that information. The instructions for budget this year for the public safety departments, all departments, is that operating costs they want to see at level funded. Not salaries, because we have steps, but the operating cost. The reality is that I can't. I have to submit what we need because the operating costs, cost of maintenance of trucks, cost of materials, cost of services, it's all gone through the roof. And with the state that, and I won't speak for Chief Haig, but him and I have talked about this in the past. The state of our budgets the last few years, where before it even gets to city council, it's trimmed. Other departments are facing that, and so we get to a point where we just have to say we have to put in for what we need because we have a department we got to run. But you'll see it in January.
Okay, very good. Thank
We'll have a presentation ready to go in January. Matter of fact, that's what I was working on most of the day today, was updating next year's financial picture for us. So
Great.
Well, Peter, thank you for this beautiful presentation.
All right.
lastly,
Yes.
I meant to say this, but I forgot. The firehouse is coming along very, very nicely. We are looking at a delay in the move. We'll talk about it tomorrow night at the building committee meeting, but because of the cost for temporary power versus what the payoff would be, it's not cost effective for us to put temporary power and try to get in there and not have a fully operational department. So we're looking at a few months with that, which comes with more bills. We have to stretch out project manager costs. So that's all going to be discussed tomorrow night. But as far as the building goes, it's amazing how far along the process is. And I offer it as I offer it to every month if you would like a tour and see the new firehouse. It's absolutely beautiful. So I would welcome it anytime. Just send me a text and I'll meet you down there and we can go for a walk.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it, I promise.
All right. There's, we already went over commissioners section. You can stay there. You can stay there. No, you don't.
I'm moving.
Oh, you're moving. Okay.
We had clear direction.
We don't need any executive session. It has to be stated. Just a couple things, real quick. I want to thank. I really want to thank both Patrick's group and Chief your group. I'm impressed with the relationship that you two your groups have with each other in the communication. I didn't know much about the two groups and how they intertwined beforehand, and I'm just really impressed. And I want to thank you, Patrick, for your dedication to Greenfield and your everybody in your company and the communication between the two groups. So thank you for that. I don't say it enough, but we don't say it enough. So thank you. A couple things next month for the commissioners. Deputy Gordon sent out a use of force policy. Did you all receive that in an email? Use of force?
When did he send that?
This week. I'll make sure, I'll resend it if you haven't had it. They would like us to take part in it, read it, study it, give our comments, give our recommendations, work with them to adjust what we feel is inappropriate or needs improvement. So please take some time and study that policy for next month. If you could, it's just gonna be the start of the communication for that. I'm sure we won't get through it all. January is gonna be a busy month for us, so we'll spend a little portion of time on that, but I'll send it back out, just spend some time on it. because they are asking us for our opinion on that. January is our reorganization month, so we'll be all of us will be re-recommending who we would like to be our chair, our vice chair, and our secretary. I encourage all of you commissioners to take part, and you can recommend yourself, you can recommend one of us, or anybody at the table. So that has to happen by the charter next month in January. So think about if you want to take on a position to lead the group, or if you want to recommend somebody, and I encourage everybody to participate. So that has to come up in January. So we'll do that first thing before the meeting, we get into the details of the meeting. So it's going to be a busy meeting in January, so I hope everybody can attend. It will be at our regular scheduled time. So we do have to have the reorg notes, so try to clear your schedules for that. Any other questions from the commissioners? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Jarvis.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Great job.